Jada is back at it here to give everyone another Walking Dead Season 9 episode reaction video. But before I get into that, it's extremely important if you're not caught up to the point where I am in rewatching or watching The Walking Dead that you take the initiative and pay attention to this episode title, which of course I'll put in the description for you. If that's the case and you find out that you're not caught up, I suggest, and so does everybody else, that you don't watch this video any further to avoid any potential spoilers. This is going to be The Walking Dead Season 9, Episode number 2. Title of this episode is called The Bridge. This will be my reaction review recap of the episode, and it's an episode I've seen before. I'm just doing a reaction to it to have it on my channel, and doing a reaction to it due to the fact that they announced that Season 11 of The Walking Dead is going to be the final season of the main Walking Dead show. So Rick is speaking to an unseen individual about the status of the communities over the past month as they work to rebuild the washed out bridge. Now, earlier that day, Rick overseed the makeshift camp where most of his close allies help to watch over the Saviors as they labor in rebuilding the bridge. Eugene keeps him up to date on the progress, because Eugene's good at doing that, noting that they have not been able to account for a half dozen Saviors that have just kind of walked off. And then they plan to detonate a roadblock later that day, and their plans to route a nearby walker horde away from using sirens. They want to keep this walker horde away, so they're going to use sirens to detour the horde. Now, Rick sees Sadiq has trained Enid in basic field medic work, and Sadiq return to the safety of the communities. Carol and Ezekiel discuss their relationship, and Anne and Father Gabriel start to recognize a bond between them. That was kind of thrown out of left field, in my opinion. Gabriel and Jadis, or Anne, whatever you want to call her, whatever. During the work, as Henry is passing out water, Justin, a savior who was also in Shameless, as Jody, the guy that would, get on with Karen and go, my pleasure, my power, my pain, tries to take more than his share and pushes Henry. Daryl rushes in to subdue Justin before Rick can assert his control on the group. Rick and Daryl realize the Saviors are starting to get out of hand due to Rick's hurry to finish the bridge and the lack of food. Now, later, they set off dynamite and track the nearby walker horde as it diverts towards the first siren. However, when the second siren, manned by Justin, fails to sound, Rick realizes the group of men at the logging site nearby are in trouble. There, Daryl sees the horde and orders everyone to flee. But in the haste, Aaron's arm is crushed under a giant log. Now, Rick and the others arrive to help defend them, allowing Daryl to rush Aaron to medical tent. Enid is overwhelmed by this at the injury, but she gets focused and determines that the only action they can take is to amputate Aaron's arm. The surgery is successful, but Rick takes full blame for Aaron's loss. Rick chastises Justin for failing to sound the alarm. Justin claims their radio equipment failed, but when Rick refuses to accept his excuse, he walks off, and Rick essentially kicks him out. He's like, I want you going by tomorrow. He's like, I'll leave tonight. And then Michonne, she goes to Hilltop to speak to Maggie. Michonne knows that the Hilltop was waiting for a supply of ethanol being produced at the sanctuary, which they would exchange for food to provide for the Saviors. But the supply has gone missing. Michonne requests that Maggie provide the food on trust that they will get the ethanol. And then Maggie, she refuses. She's like, no. Pointing out that they have no fuel for the tractor. And with Earl, their blacksmith, being held in custody because he attempted to kill Maggie, they cannot repair the plow they took from the museum and thus must conserve their food supply. Now, Michonne urges Maggie to reconsider, but Maggie remains steadfast that Earl must be punished. Maggie does allow Tammy to see Earl under her watch and learns that Earl's actions were a result of Gregory giving him his first drink of alcohol in years. Hey, that's not Gregory's fault. I mean, you have to have strong self-control. So, whatever, blame Gregory, have Gregory be the scapegoat. After some time, Maggie relents. She allows Earl to return to his blacksmith work under guard and agrees to provide the food to Michonne, as well as being open to discuss a code of laws between the communities as long as she retains some authority at the hilltop. And then that night, Rick's conversation continues, revealed to be with Negan. I mean, it's pretty obvious it was Negan. If anybody else was fooled by that, I mean, come on. Who is held in a cell within Alexandria, of course. Negan cares a little for how Rick is rebuilding the communities, believing that Rick is just helping to repair the world for him. And then Anne keeps watch at night and spots a helicopter flying overhead. Justin, walking alone back to the sanctuary, appears to see someone he recognizes before the figure jumps and attacks him. So that's how the episode ends. There was some good parts to the episode. I actually really liked the part with Daryl and Aaron, you know, everybody had to go into action, then everybody else showing up to save them, so Daryl and Aaron could get away so they could attend to Aaron's arm injury. But it wasn't the greatest, but it was solid. As far as the score of the episode, I'm going to give it an 8.4 out of 10. I actually really like Justin's character, and they didn't utilize him enough, in my opinion. Character of the episode, I mean, you could give it to a lot of people. I'm going to give this one to Maggie. I'm actually switching that. I had it Daryl, but I'm going to give it to Maggie because she saw the good in Earl, realized that he just made a mistake, a big mistake, but he certainly can learn from that, and he can be rehabilitated. And you know, she thought of her dad. If her dad wasn't given a second chance, where would Herschel be? Well, I mean, he would probably still be dead. Who knows? But Maggie's the character of the episode. So you've heard what I have to say. Now it's your turn. So if you're a fan of The Walking Dead and you like this episode from season 9, episode 2, The Bridge, go ahead and smash that like button. If you don't like the episode, but you're a fan of The Walking Dead, give the video a like as well. If you know anybody that would be interested in these type of videos, go ahead and share the video to them. Don't forget to leave me a comment with your thoughts. You can score the episode, or realistically, you can talk about anything Walking Dead related. I always respond to all comments, and I do appreciate that. It helps the channel, obviously. And last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button, subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special, and JDev will return.